Philadelphia did hosting this event.
Excellent. Amazing 2 days. Couldn't be happier. Philadelphia came out here. The crowds were amazing both days. They were energized, and and I think it just showed in how our athletes performed. They love to perform in front of great crowds, and that's what we had here.
Overall, how was the track the whole weekend?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, look, that's the one thing. I mean, if you go all the way back to Kingston, I mean, our racers have delivered amazing performances coming down to the finish line, and this was no different here. So, I mean, we've got everything that we could have hoped for out of this weekend. And I think, we're really pleased with, just compacting things into 2 days instead of the 3 days. We felt like that worked much better. And, we're just going to continue to improve. But the team's very happy with what we got this weekend.
With the changes you implemented after Kingston and Miami, how do you think this meet ran compared to those?
Better. Yeah, that's what we were hoping for. The 2 days it just feels better. It feels like it's more action-packed in the 2 days. I think the athletes like it better as well. The 2 days just quick action. Fans obviously enjoyed it, and we got great crowd out here Saturday and Sunday, which is exactly what we were hoping for.
From a logistical perspective, with a 125-year-old building, nobody quite knew how it was going to work with this place. How do you think in terms of logistics, back of the house, getting the athletes comfortable and all that, how do you think all that worked?
Yeah, I mean, thankfully that's not my job because it probably wouldn't have worked so well. But our team did a lot of work working with the university as well, with the athletic department, with the track team here, just in terms of how they've actually run events before. I think the indoor warm-up facility worked well. Athletes got here, got to the start line on time. They all seemed to feel like it was a good, sort of logistical situation for them to get warmed up over there and come over here and be able to still do a few strides and then get into the racing. The times and the races obviously reflected that, it worked for them as well. So, that's the one thing, of course, you're always hoping for is just having no logistical issues with the racers being able to do what they need to do. So that's something that we keep as a priority for us. And the team did a lot of work over the last week before we started this slam just to make sure that we could execute on that.
Can you talk about the decision for the long distance group to bring it down to one event and then half the prize money?
Yeah, so I mean that event was the one of all of them over the first two slams where we just felt like the two-race concept wasn't working as well as the others, so we made the decision that we would just go with the 3,000. And judging from what we saw here, those two races were epic. Some of the better races of this weekend were those 3,000 races, so we feel like we made the right decision.
Why do you feel like they weren't working as well?
I mean, you just have to watch them. It's glaring. I mean, you just did not have that same level of intensity. I mean, most of our races, at the end of that race, everybody's standing up on their feet. With those 5,000, sometimes that just wasn't happening.
Was there any consideration to have them do the 3:15 instead?
No, and look, there's always considerations for us and our team. It would make your head spin the amount of ideas we have floating around our office, and some of those things we implement, some we sort of shelve, and we've got a lot of stuff that's just sitting on the shelf that maybe we'll pull off one day. I mean, the 3,000 only was always a possibility. 2 days was always on our shelf. We knew that this was either a 2-day or a 3-day event, and we decided, it's 2 days. It feels like it should be 2 days, and why wait until next season? Let's do it now. We're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to iterate. We're going to make decisions quickly, and a lot of fans from the very beginning were saying, it feels more like 2 days would be better, and we listened to that.
Were there any nuances with the broadcast partner? How closely did you guys work with them to make that happen?
Yeah, we worked very closely with our broadcast partners, and we let them know sort of at the very beginning, what we're thinking about. I mean, they were part of that process as well of, hey, should this be 2 days or 3 days? And where they always knew that, we may go to 2 days, and they were good with that as well. And so I think everybody's pleased now with how that worked out, because it worked out well for everybody.
Is it official that LA will be 2 days?
LA will be 2 days.
What's the virtue of that flexibility? Because some organizations would say we're going to stick with it for the sake of sticking with it. You guys have clearly been willing to adapt on the fly. What's the importance of that for you?
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, it's like, we don't have time to sort of sit and, ruminate on things, and, we just don't have that sort of time. So, for us, it's about getting, those decisions quickly, and when everybody is in agreement that, hey, this feels like it's probably the right thing to do, But then the next thing is like, why wait? Let's do it now. And we're unafraid. We're not afraid to make mistakes. We have and we will make mistakes, and that's fine. We're not afraid of that.
Last question.
Going forward, do you believe Philadelphia will be on the regular circuit when you guys going forward with future scheduling?
Not sure, but it feels like it. I mean, it feels like it. It was an epic 2 days. I mean, it would be hard not to be honest. But we have to make those decisions after the season is over. Where we go next. But this felt really good.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.